Hello everyone, and to today's video we will be building a factory for the Buck Capsule C-type item. As always, all factory showcases that you see in these videos are always fully modular, which means you can infinitely replicate them as long as you have the depot space. All of the factories you see here are 100% efficient, which means they only use the exact amount of items you need, and there will never be any clogging as long as you're able to supply enough items. And all of the factory blueprints showcased here are fully compatible with any other video that you see on my channel, which means that you can easily place one next to another and not interfere at all. Just to go quickly over the requirements, so in terms of items, to feed this at full efficiency, we will need 120 amethyst ore per minute, as well as we will need a buck flower plant available in your storage. As always, this machine will work with just one plant. However, if you want to make sure that it is fully efficient, please try to have at least 50 of them available in your storage at any time. However, another very important thing is do not have too much of this plant in the storage, because if you do hit the limit, what will happen is, because we are producing plants and putting them in the protocol stash to be sent back to base, if you have too many plants, the plants will fill up all of the slots and your machine will stop working. So make sure that you have enough plants, but that they are not hitting the storage cap limit. Now for the power requirements, these are all the machines that you need. You can see right here, and in total you will have to have 140 power to power all of them up at full efficiency. And for the blueprint size, it is 15 blocks wide and 25 blocks tall. So as always, when it comes to the width of the machines, I try to not exceed the width of the input modules right here. So as you can see, width is exactly 15 blocks and the height goes up to 25, which means that you are able to easily stack a lot of these modules along the lines right here and along the lines of the second depot line if you have that available. Now for the EU and America server, I will have the blueprint attached in the description, as well as a playlist with all other factories that I have. However, if you are on Asia server, I will showcase it right here. So this is the bottom part of the machine. I guess we can count it until here, right? Until the shredder top part. So this is how it looks for the bottom part. And this is how it looks for the top part. Top part is very simple. One thing I want to mention about this machine, there is a way to make it much smaller and much slimmer, right? But since Buck Capsule C is an item that you will need a lot of, purely for selling to the refugee camps, I believe most of them actually take this item. So yeah, it looks like the first one takes this item. The second one takes the B capsules, but yeah. I mean, you will need a bunch of this item to get a lot of stocks. So what I did, this is not a single Buck Capsule building. This is a double variant where you are building two of them at once. The reason I did this is because of the recipe. While it's not a problem for the amethyst bottles, it does require an odd amount of buck flower powder. And because buck flower powder gets produced in two at a time, right? This means that if I only left one production building, it would have an weird amount of buck flower left over. So instead of just building one of them, I doubled all of the resources and it produces two of them at once, as you can see. So I didn't need to build an additional shredder for it. All I needed to do was just feed it a little bit more bottles and it works just fine. Now for the build itself, so for the amethyst, we're feeding all of them into the refineries. A little bit of a scuff setup here, but I did need to have this power up not only my amethyst part, but I also needed to power up these two planters and seeders. So yeah, a little bit messy here, but as long as it sustains power, that's all that matters. Because this, oh, it looks like this sustains power as well. So I guess we'll leave it at that, because from what I tried, it's hard to make it a bit more efficient, but maybe I'll think about it. We'll see. But yeah, all of these amethysts are getting fed into the refining units, making amethyst what's it called, amethyst fibers. Then the molding units, they do require 2 in order to produce 1 bottle, so Two of the inputs are going into each molding unit, as you can see, and then these bottles are getting split across the two filling units. So one of them goes directly here, and the other one through the top goes into here. I tried to make it through the bottom somehow, but that setup was a little bit scuffed, so yeah, I opted out for this one. In this case, in case you are building it close to the corner, for example, this might allow another machine of yours to fit a little bit easier. Now for the buck flower itself, we're only feeding one buck flower for ourselves, so we are duplicating it here, one buck flower into two seeds. One of them is going to this planter, which will later get shredded, and the buck flower powder gets split across both of the filling units. So this is for the final item production. We only need one buck flower every 2 seconds, which means that this one building is actually able to sustain both of the machines at once. And the second one is the cycling unit, which means that it turns into a bush and goes back into your storage, so it can feed on this again. Now for the final items, as you can see, both of them are getting fed into the protocol stash to get transported back to base. So one gets fed directly and the other one just through the top into the protocol stash. So all of these items get every 10 seconds transported back to our base. So yeah, that's pretty much the build itself. That's about it. Again, if you need additional builds, if you need a blueprint, make sure to check the description. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. Peace.